oh, yeah, Jim Carrey. I love humans, always seeing patterns in things that aren't there. That is a quote from my favorite TV show, Doctor Who. And as everything in Doctor Who, that's absolutely right. And we can use this piece of wisdom in our everyday life. Because we all have our patterns up and running all the time. What does it do to us? Some are very, very helpful and we need them to stay sane. But many are active and we don't even know it. And they slowly take over our conversations. We always have a certain way to respond to a certain feedback. We always order the same thing without even thinking about what do I need now, what would make me happy now. So we have all these patterns and we're so used to them that we don't even realize that they are there. And we just maybe want to have a look if we are there, or is it all our patterns that are speaking for us, deciding for us, reacting for us, and basically taking over our whole day and our whole week and our lives. So these patterns help us to organize the world, to just make sense of the world. Our brain organizes everything around us into these patterns in order to make us feel relaxed and safe. Because we cannot experience every little thing as if it was brand new, every single moment of our lives. And we cannot be surprised every morning and be like, oh, the sun is rising, look at the yellow ball in the horizon. Okay, this doesn't work, we will go crazy. We need certain patterns to just relax into life. What is a pattern? When you look up to the sky and you watch the clouds passing by, what our brain immediately does, it looks for patterns. And our brain is programmed that way, always looking for patterns, always trying to create a certain amount of order. So let's look up to the sky, let's watch the clouds. You'll realize your brain immediately looks for faces, animals, shapes, patterns. And you'll be like, oh, there's a face, oh, there is a dragon, right? And each and every one of us will see something different. So I tend to see bunnies a lot. Or when you think of the movie with the actor, the brilliant actor, what was his name? Jim Carrey! Yes, when you think of the movie with Jim Carrey, I Love You, Philip Morris. When he looks up to the sky as a little boy, you might want to watch the movie because this is a family-friendly channel. Awesome movie, by the way. So depending on who we are, we see different things, right? And once you've tried to explain someone, we're like, oh, look, there is a bunny in the sky, can you see it? And somebody like next to you would be like, where? I don't see it. No, I don't see it. And you're, oh, it's so clear, see, there are the ears. I don't, oh, okay, yeah, maybe. So the way we perceive the world is different for all of us. And a lot of how we see the world and how we bring order to the world is determined by those patterns that are up and running in all of our minds. Another pattern that you might know from yourself is you go to a cafe and you always order an espresso. And then this becomes a thing. And you always order espresso without even thinking about it. And maybe one day the waiter knows you and he or the waitress and she will bring you an espresso and you don't even need to order it. And that can be a very nice thing, you know, to have this pattern, these habits in our lives. It can make life easier and it's a nice thing among us humans. We feel like we know each other. But then what happens when one day you're ordering a cappuccino? Can you imagine the look on the waiter's or the waitress's face when they know you? And this is when I think it gets really interesting. When we start to play with the patterns and we start to think about the patterns and we start to decide, is this something I want in this very moment because it would nurture me, it will help me, it's just fun in the moment or whatever, or is it something that I do just because I've always done it that way? The way we react, the way we interact with others is very much determined by our patterns as well. And when you think about someone gives you feedback, someone tells you, oh, you're awesome, you're brilliant, how would you react? Would you be there in the moment, really hear this person, and then take a brief moment to think about what they said or to, you know, feel your joy and then decide what do you want to respond? Or will you react not on a conscious level but out of a habit and a pattern that you have? And for some of us, they will be like, yeah, you're right, I am awesome. Finally, someone said it, yes. Maybe for some of us, it will be like, oh no, you're exaggerating. You know, actually, it wasn't really me, I barely helped. And it's just a reaction that we have. It's not something that comes from a conscious level. It's something that is a reaction, something that is automatic, and we don't even control it. Here's where patterns become kind of spooky. Because when you think about what is going on, when a pattern takes over your conversation, the way you think, the way you behave, the way you react, it's not you on a conscious level, but a pattern running inside of you answers, speaks, interacts. And it is really spooky, isn't it? And it happens sometimes after such a conversation. We would be like, oh, I could have said thank you. That's very kind of you. No, I said, no, stop it, right? And we don't know why we didn't react differently. Here's why. The pattern did it. And this is where we want to work with patterns, right? Let's talk about some other kind of pattern that is going on. And that is not a personal thing. Well, it is, but it's broader, it's wider. Maybe it's a family pattern or a pattern that is active in your society, in the area you live or you come from. Let me give you an example. Tom and I grew up in the same area. I was the city kid and he lived near the city on the countryside. The city, to be completely honest, is tiny. So we lived 5 minutes apart. Same society, same context anyway. And we grew up with lunchtime is 12 o'clock. It's not 12:10, it is 12 o'clock. And then at one point, when I think we've been living together, have we? Yes. We just realized we are not hungry at 12 o'clock sharp each day. There was this pattern of this is when we are supposed to sit down for lunch. And you know, it was very interesting to work with that pattern and to just come to this point and realize that's not the right time for our systems, for our bodies. We're not hungry at 12 o'clock. So we just changed it. And yeah, that's a very simple example, but I think it makes a point, right? Whatever we do all day long, the way we create our day, the way we interact, a lot of things are controlled by patterns. And it's on us to decide what to do with them. So we will have a look at what can we do when we find out that's just a pattern, that's not a desire I have, that's not something I want, that's not something I decide on a conscious level. That is something that is up and running inside of me, telling me what to do, although I don't even want to do it, or it doesn't even make sense, or maybe it's not even nurturing for me, okay? So this is what we want to have a look at right now. Dealing with patterns and playing with patterns really means to be less mechanical, less reacting, but more active, more conscious, and basically more alive. So, whenever you find yourself reacting the same way all the time, whenever you find yourself saying, it's like I'm going in circles here. Okay, these are patterns. So you want to have a look at them. Just watch out for patterns of certain ways you tend to respond, you tend to interact, you tend to create your day. And just very, very relaxed and in a playful manner, find out what patterns are active, and then take a moment to decide and feel, is this a pattern that I find nurturing? Is this helpful for me, or is it not? If something is helpful, well, keep it. By all means, sure. If something supports you in your life, some way you think and you interact with others and the world, yay! Just, self high five, and we'll keep it up and running. But if something is not nurturing, why keep it? Why keep something in your life that makes you do stuff, say stuff, react in a way that's not you? Okay, and as soon as you are aware, this is not me, this is a pattern, that's always the same, and afterwards I'm always like, why did I say that again? Why did I react like that again? Then you know that's a pattern, and as soon as you know it's there, that's a pattern in your life, it loses its power already. That's the great thing about patterns. They work in the shadows, and they are strong in the shadows on an unconscious level. As soon as we become aware, half the work is done. Okay, so as soon as you know this is a pattern and I don't want to keep it because I don't find it helpful at all, just stay awake to whenever the pattern comes up and take a moment to take a breath and then look for ways to respond or think differently. What is more nurturing now? And choose that thought or this reaction or this answer to, in a conversation. So just be aware and then breathe and become aware, what do I truly want? What is helpful now? And then you choose that. And by doing this, the pattern will lose its power and it will dissolve. So I hope you really have fun with playing with patterns. It's very, very exciting to start and recognize all of them. It is also kind of spooky and a little scary, to be honest, how many things in life we do mechanically and not because we feel so alive and because we're so conscious and we decide freely. And anytime and every time you deal with patterns, it's just a step towards creating more space for the true you and for your uniqueness. And you will find that the world is just so much more exciting and colorful and versatile, and each and every single moment is full of options, and it's vast. Everything in life, this moment, is just unlimited potential. Every day is unlimited potential. And all of this life cannot be squeezed into a box like we do it all the time. Our patterns do that. They like open a drawer in our minds and they stuff this day or this person or this reaction in there and squeeze it in there. And then we push the drawer closed and then we label it, and that's how the world is, and that's how this person is, and that's how I am. And as soon as we open all those drawers, we open them up, and then life is kind of exploding, and it can surprise us, and the magic is back. And we're speechless again. One pattern that you definitely should never, ever, ever get rid of, but instead push and enhance and grow, is appreciation, positivity, enthusiasm. So the stuff that makes life awesome. And that means that you give a thumbs up. And when you appreciate our content, and please share with family and friends and your own followers. So together we can create a life that feels incredible.